Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Chris from Twins Picks, and in today's video, I will be giving you guys my 3 best NBA player props for May 9th, 2022. Just before I get into it, I just want to recap over the weekend. We had a pretty bad weekend all in all. Yesterday was one of the biggest losses and most frustrating losses that I've had in a long time. Joel Embiid, I had him over 24.5. He got 24. Tyler Hero over 22.5 PRA. He had 22. So it was just one of those days yesterday where I was going to punch a hole through a wall, but you know what? We just got to keep moving forward. You can't let that negative energy really cloud your mind and just keep you being negative. It just isn't good for you. So overall, over the last 3 days, I've gone 3-7 in player props, which I know my record is not the greatest, but I'm still trying to bounce back every single day. You got to stay positive. You got to keep fighting. So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys my 3 best bets, in my opinion, for today's action. The first one that I have for today is Al Horford over 24.5 PRAs at -102. This guy has become an aggressive human being. He hasn't been this aggressive in a very long time that I can remember, but the last time he was this aggressive, he was a member of the Boston Celtics back in 2017. He's just been fitting in beautifully in this series. I know Marcus Smart was coming off of an injury, but you know, Robert Williams has not been as aggressive as I would have liked, but man, what a start to the series for Al Horford. I mean, he's covered this line in every game against the Milwaukee Bucks. He got 25 in game 1, 25 in game 2, and a whopping 43 in game 3. And he's averaging about 12 field goal attempts per game in the series. And take this in, boys, 7 3-point attempts per game. So whatever Al Horford has been doing, they're trying to get him the ball as much as they can. They're getting it off the pick and roll. I know Jason Tatum last game dropped 10 points. He's not going to do that again. But I do think that the Celtics team, they really do know how to facilitate and include everybody on the offense. I really do think Al Horford could easily double-double in this game, as well as he has been one of the better rebounders in this series as well. So I really like this at only -102 here. I think he could get over it one more time, and they need guys like Al Horford to really step up today if Boston really wants to have a shot at this series. And instead of going down 3-1, you have a big game from Al, tie it going back to Boston. That should definitely motivate the Celtics. So that's my first pick of the day. My second pick is going in the Memphis and Golden State game, and it's going to be Jordan Poole over 20.5 points. I think this line is too low, honestly. I don't want to jinx it. I just think that this guy, he's been averaging 23 points per game in the playoffs. He broke out, honestly, this year. I think he's a top 5 candidate for the most improved player. His all-in-all game is completely transcended. His mid-range is amazing. His three-pointers, he's confident as ever. He's been shooting at about 9 attempts a game. I just love what Jordan Poole brings, especially off the bench. It eases pressure off of Steph Curry, off of Klay Thompson, and even off of Andrew Wiggins for the most part. He's averaging 20.7, and his last 3 games, he's had 30 points, 20 points, and 27 points. He's averaging 17.6 field goal attempts, which is ridiculous, and he's taking about 7.6 three-pointers a game. So he's aggressive. He's in the game, especially after all the news and the press that he got after Game 3. I think Jordan Poole's going to come out here on a mission, proving that he's not a dirty player. He's an unbelievable, transcending offensive talent, and I think he's going to go off again tonight. And I do think the Warriors are going to win Game 4 without Ja Morant. So I got Jordan Poole over 20.5 at -115. And my third and final play of the day is Marcus Smart over 12.5 points at -104 odds. I know, another role player. It's not Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. To me, Marcus Smart is the X factor on this Boston Celtics team. In this series, he only has 10 points and 9 in the 2 games he's played, but he has only taken 8 shots and 11 shots. And last game, he had 9 points in only 29 minutes of action, and while going 12% from the field. He's averaged about 38% from the field this year, and he's averaging about 15 against the Bucks in the season. So I do think now, after one game coming back from the injury, he's gotten his feet a little bit wet. I think he's gotten used to the play that the Bucks do play. They have Drew Holiday or a guy like Wesley Matthews on him for majority of the game. I do think that in this case, he's not going to shoot this poorly. I do expect a bounce-back performance from Marcus Smart. he is an X factor, like I mentioned, and they are going to need Marcus Smart and Al Horford to start going if guys like Tatum and Brown go cold early on in the game. I really do like that. Regardless, he still is going to shoot at least 10 field goal attempts per game, and when he has his opportunity to even drive the paint, he'll take the shot. So he's an aggressive guy. I know there are games he doesn't necessarily shoot, but I think in this game specifically, the way that they've swarmed Tatum and Brown, I do think guys like Marcus Smart are going to be a little more relied upon in terms of the offensive end. So I just feel, again, just like Jordan Poole, I feel like this line might be a little too low for a guy who's averaging 15 against this Bucks team this year. So my third and final pick is Marcus Smart over 12.5 points at -104 odds. So let's go over today's picks. My first pick of the day, Al Horford over 24.5 PRAs. My second is Jordan Poole over 20.5 points. And my third is Marcus Smart over 12.5 points. Let's get it, guys. Let's cash. Stay golden.